SOSO's journey is becoming more interesting because whether people want to admit it or not, she's slowly moving from being known mainly as part of a popular duo to becoming a personality people are beginning to pay attention to on her own. Oh. And for her recent Pan-Africa achievements that she achieved, guys, it has made that conversation even louder because now the question is no longer simply what is SOSO doing with Micheal Dappah. People are beginning to ask something very different. Like, what is SOSO even doing for herself? And honestly, that is an interesting question. You understand? It's an interesting question for me because for a long time, when people heard the name SOSO, Micheal Dappah was almost automatically part of the conversation. Their connection became so popular that many people started seeing them almost as one entertainment brand. But the entertainment industry has a funny way of changing things. One moment, people know you because of someone else. Then suddenly, they started noticing you because of you. And that seems to be the stage SOSO is right now. Hi everyone, you guys are welcome back to the channel, guys. SOSO is not simply new to the spotlight, you know. She has been creating content, entertaining people, and building her own audience for years. In fact, some people who have followed her for a very long time will tell you that SOSO had her own fan base long before all the recent attention around her acting career started. So maybe the bigger story here is not that SOSO suddenly becomes somebody. Maybe the story is that people are finally beginning to notice what was already there in her. And that changes the entire conversation. Because when we talk about SOSO and Micheal Dappah, there are actually two different stories. There is the story of the partnership that helped put her in front of a much bigger audience. And then there is SOSO's individual journey after that door was open. Those two things can exist at the same time. Nobody needs to pretend that connection and opportunities do not matter in entertainment. Yes, they do. Sometimes one person introduces you to an audience you would have struggled to reach on your own. Sometimes being beside a popular personality gives people the opportunity to also discover you. You understand? And from the way people have discussed SOSO's journey, many believe Micheal Dappah played an important role in making her more visible within the acting space. But visibility is one thing. Maintaining that visibility is another thing entirely too. Because imagine somebody gives you the opportunity to enter a room. You can be grateful for that person who opened the door. But once you enter that room, you still have to prove that you deserve to remain there. And that is where SOSO's story become interesting. She has started appearing alongside with other actors, taking on opportunity outside the identity people originally attached her to, and receiving attention for achievements that are beginning to look increasingly personal. So that is the part I find interesting because if SOSO was only successful because of her association with Micheal, then the moment that association stopped, that moment that association stopped being between SOSO and Micheal Dappah, what will happen? You understand? The attention will definitely disappear. But that has not happened. Instead, people are still talking about her, people are still watching her, people are still discussing her achievement. And now she has even reached a point where viewers are debating whether she can completely stand on her own. To me, that question itself tells us something. You don't ask whether someone can survive independently if you haven't already started seeing evidence that they might actually be able to. And this is where I think people sometimes misunderstand how entertainment careers work. You understand? An opportunity can come through another person, but that does not mean your entire career belongs to that person. Let me give you an example. Imagine someone recommends you for a job That recommendation may get you the interview, but if you get the job, your performance is what keeps you there. Nobody can keep doing the work for you. The same thing can happen in entertainment. A connection can introduce you, a former friend can recommend you, a relationship can create visibility. But talent, consistency, personality, and hard work are what determines whether people continue paying attention. And SOSO appears to be entering that second stage right now. The stage where the conversation is gradually changing from SOSO and Micheal to simply SOSO. Now, that doesn't mean people have suddenly stopped loving the two of them. Oh. No, far from it. There are still people who genuinely enjoy seeing them together. There are people who believe their chemistry is special and who would happily watch them together again. And honestly, there is nothing wrong with that. You can love a duo and still support both people individually. You can enjoy Micheal without reducing SOSO, and you can support SOSO without pretending Micheal never played a role in her journey. That is probably the most balanced way to look at this, because there is another side of the conversation that I think deserves attention right now. Sos already had something before the acting spotlight became stronger, guys. She have an audience. Her audience was part of her life, her journey. Her content creation journey matters. You understand? The people who followed her before the current attention also matter. The year of showing up, creating content, and building a personality matter. So when people say Micheal made her, I think that statement is too simple. Maybe Micheal helped make her more visible in one particular area, but that does not automatically erase everything she had built before that. And at the same time, when people say Micheal had nothing to do with her success, that may also be unfair, because people can help us without owing our success. Sometimes somebody gives you an opportunity. What you do with that opportunity becomes your responsibility, and that is exactly why SOSO's current stage is worth watching. Her recent achievement is not just another thing to post. For someone trying to establish an individual identity, recognition like that can be very, very important. It tells people that her name is beginning to travel beyond this small cycle where they first discover her. And that is how personal brands are built. You see one achievement, you see one project, one appearance, one performance, one new audience at a time. The interesting part is that SOSO doesn't necessarily have an aid to distance herself from Micheal to prove that she can stand alone. That is another mistake people make. SOSO is making name for herself. Micheal also is doing the same. And when it's time for collaboration, when it's time for, you understand, combine work, they both do it with love and they do it with a lot of commitment and a lot of cooperation also. Guys, I really want to know what you think. Do you think SOSO is gradually becoming her own self, her own brand, why Micheal is also doing that? Or do you think the both of them still needs each other to grow? Both of them still need each other to stand before any form of individuality? Guys, let me know what you think in the comment section. I really like to know, because SOSO journey is becoming the story of her own, and he doesn't want to be connected with Micheal Dappah. Drop your thoughts in the comment section, and do not forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. Bye for now.